Hey guys, how you doing? Josh here from J Media. Today I'm going to give you an awesome video. This is something I've never done before. If you look around, especially in Los Angeles, you'll find that there's videographers all over the place. But here's the thing, they won't tell you all the secrets in the business. And in this video, I'm going to be telling you all these secrets. Why am I going to be telling you all these secrets? Because I want you guys to have a flourishing business. I want you guys to go out there, be really creative, have the best tools to make the best videos for your clients. I want you guys to be extremely successful because this is what life is all about. So I'm going to be telling you guys what beginners need to get in order to become professionals. I'm going to be giving you all the secrets, all the tools you need, all the equipment that you need to become a professional videographer. I'm even going to show you the software that I use. So let's get started. So if you're just starting to get into the business and you say, hey, I'm going to become a videographer, a professional videographer, you have to decide what kind of videos or films you're going to be making. Music videos, documentaries, it all ranges. Me personally, I like doing everything, so I have gear for everything. For example, I'm shooting on a documentary style video camera called the Canon XF305. This has mic inputs built in, it has ND filters built in, it has a beautiful servo zoom, it has everything needed to do run and gun documentary work. So that's the camera that I use. It is very expensive, so for those of you who are on a tight budget, I would go down to maybe the Canon XF100 or 105, even the new versions that just came out, the Canon XF205. Even look at the Sony NEX cameras. They are quite good as well. Sony and Canon are very good competitors, and I totally recommend looking at those cameras. So you guys are probably asking, how much money do I need to save up in order to get some basic equipment to start my business? Well, for one thing, you definitely need a video camera. What kind of video camera? Well, as I said before, you need a video camera, maybe more than one camera, but if you were to decide that I want to do mainly music videos or short films, I would go with DSLR cameras. Now, what's a DSLR camera? DSLR stands for Digital Single Lens Reflex. It looks something like this. Here we have a Canon DSLR camera. It is the 5D Mark II. It's a $2,000 camera. You might be out of your price range, but if it is out of your price range, you could look at Canon's other models like the T5i, those kinds of things. Nikon, this is the biggest misconception about Nikon, guys. Whenever I post a video on YouTube saying that, oh, I use Canon for video because it's better than Nikon, and then I have a whole bunch of people saying, no, Nikon is better, get Nikon. Guys, listen to me. Nikon is not a video camera company. Their DSLR cameras cannot perform as well as Canon DSLR cameras for video. Yes, Nikon does have very powerful, very well-built photo cameras that are good for photos. They even are higher resolution than Canon cameras. But when it comes down to video, Canon knocks them out of the park. If you go on YouTube and type in comparison videos of the Canon and Nikon, you'll notice that Canon outperforms Nikon in videos. Completely, hands down. I'm not going to argue with that, guys, because it's fact. Canon has been in the video business way longer than Nikon has. So when it comes down to videos / photos, go with Canon. If you're a professional, if you're trying to be a professional photographer, go with Nikon. If you don't really care about video, go with Nikon. Alright, that's out of the way. So you have a video camera. Let's say you got the Canon XF100. I think it's around $2,000. $2-3 for that camera. Alright, now how much money, before we buy all the cameras, how much money do you think you should have saved up? I would say about $4,000 or $5,000 at least before you buy all of your equipment, because on top of the camera you need to buy a tripod. Now tripods can range anywhere from $10 to $1,000. If you're going to Manfrotto tripods, which are Italian made tripods, they are phenomenal. a bit overpriced in my opinion because China has really upped their game, and I'm using a Chinese tripod, fluid head tripod made out of solid steel. Very, very nice tripod. It's called the Fancier 717 tripod. Look it up on eBay. They're about 150 bucks, and they actually have even newer versions than mine. They're even twice as good, and maybe for 20 bucks more. Now the tripod is very, very important. So after you buy your first camera, I'm not saying you should buy 2 cameras in the beginning. Start with 1 camera, preferably a video camera, just a basic, documentary style video camera, like a, the Canon XF100s or 105s or 200s, 205s. Those are good starting cameras. They are a couple grand, but you get what you pay for. You get really nice high definition picture with that. You have to have HD cameras, guys. No SD cameras anymore. No standard definition. Nothing to do with the tape. We are in 2014 now. You guys should be on digital media, okay? CF cards, SD cards. No more tapes. It's done. It's in the past. No more tapes, guys. No more film. It's over. We are now in a digital era. Alright, so you have your HD video camera and your tripod. Like I said, I have the Fancier 717 fluid head tripod from China. Exceptional quality. Alright, so you have your video camera and tripod. Now, you need a slider. What is a slider? Well, I'm not going to go through with what a slider is completely in this video because I have 2 videos on YouTube that show you how a slider works, what a slider does, so check them out on my channel, okay? They're about 100 bucks, and you definitely need them because they create amazing and beautiful cinematic shots. You need a slider, guys. Every professional videographer out there has a slider, so you need to get one. Okay, so you have your camera, you have your tripod, you have your slider. Hold on right now. We're missing a few things that have to do with the camera. Extra batteries. You need to have at least 2 or 3 extra batteries for your camera. Because if you're gonna go on a wedding, if you're gonna go out shooting in the desert somewhere, you're probably gonna be without power. I would say you need to have at least 8 hours of power. So you need to get those big juicy batteries that can last you about 3 or 4 hours each. That's what I have for my Canon here. You need to be at least 8 hours without power, without AC power. You need to be on batteries for that long. So make sure you have extra batteries. Extra cards. You need extra memory cards. I go with the 32 to 64 gig cards, high speed for high definition cameras. You need to make sure that these cards are high speed. I go with the company called Transcend or SanDisk. Those are the top 2 companies that I would go with. Next up, you need to buy a case for your camera. You have to make sure it's protected. Really need to buy a case. You can go on eBay, find a case for 35 bucks. Boom, you're set. All right. Next thing, you need to protect your lens on your camera. Buy a UV protector for your lens. It's an extra sheet of glass that screws on to your lens. You need it, period. All right, make sure you buy that. Make sure it costs about 25-30 bucks. If you go on eBay, type in UV lens protector, you'll find it. Next thing you need, microphone. The onboard microphones that are built into the camera are not good enough. You need to have a really, really nice, strong, good quality microphone. You can either go with the company called Rode or Sennheiser. That's it. Or even Audio-Technica. They make very, very good microphones. I use Rode. Australian made, not one bit of plastic, 10-year warranty. That's a deal for me, all right? That's a deal. I'm gonna go and buy that. 10-year warranty, made in Australia, high quality sound. Boom, I'm there, I'm buying it. Next thing you need, an onboard light for your camera. You need to have an LED light with at least 60 LEDs. What happens if you go into a party and you're hired to film the party and you have no light? You're gonna be screwed. You need to have an onboard light. Okay, very important. Now, with the mic and a light, your camera's gonna start getting heavy. That's why I recommend buying a shoulder rig. Now let me show you what a shoulder rig looks like. This is a shoulder rig, all right? This thing folds out and you can do a whole bunch of cool things I call this thing the scorpion because it looks like a scorpion. Camera goes on here, and then this can rest on your shoulder like this, and there you have a shoulder rig, okay? The camera does get heavy after a while, so it's important to have a shoulder rig because it has all these cool pads on here and grips to make it more comfortable for you to hold the camera. So a rig, guys, is very important for long shoots, especially if these shoots are for covering events, all right? Make sure you remember that you definitely need a shoulder rig. These are about 60 bucks on eBay. Okay, by now we've covered your camera that you need to buy, right? You need to buy a video camera. You need to buy a tripod, right? You need to buy accessories for your camera, light, extra cards, extra batteries, mic in the case, and a UV filter for your lens, right? The UV protector. Also, we've covered that you need to buy a slider. Now, this is when we're gonna get a little more advanced. This is when you start getting more income in from your business. This is when you start becoming more professional, more creative. This is when we need to start looking at stabilizers. Go on YouTube, type in glide cam. You're gonna find these things. These things are really, really neat. They're called steady cams. They stabilize your footage. That's why they're called steady cams. Your camera goes on top here, and you balance it. I have videos on how to do this. Please check out my videos if you want to know how a steady cam works or a glide cam. Basically, how they work. You put your camera on top of the Steadicam and you start walking around with the Steadicam, and it looks like your footage is flying or gliding. It really makes beautiful cinematic footage. This is when you're really, really professional. I mean, you can't get any more professional than using a Steadicam. And of course, once your hands get tired, you can buy vests and all these different accessories. But for me, I only use this for like 2 or 3 minutes at a time until my hands get tired. For weddings, you have to. I'm saying you guys really have to step out of the box. If you want to be successful, if you want to have beautiful, beautiful footage, you have to buy a Steadicam. I cannot tell you how boring videos get if they're just stuck, if video cameras are just stuck on a tripod showing me the beautiful scenery. I get bored. I want to see a film. I don't want to see a homemade video. And clients are picky like that too. Maybe some clients are like, oh wow, it's beautiful. The camera's just staying still and showing me the beautiful landscapes. Do you want them to say, oh, it's good? Or do you want them to say, wow, that was phenomenal? Well, this is what's gonna make your videos phenomenal. A beautiful, awesome Steadicam. They're about $250 to $300 on eBay. Look them up. There's the Wieldy, there's the Lang, there's the Glide Cam, even the Optica. I don't really recommend the Optica because it's really, really crappy stabilizer, but the Wieldy, Lang, and Glide Cam, start saving up. You need to buy them. Okay, by now we've covered your camera, tripod, slider, camera accessories, and your Steadicam. What else do you need? You need a website. You need a professionally made website. Either you go on YouTube and you type in tutorials how to build a website, or you hire a professional. Websites can cost up to $4,000 or $5,000, okay? Very important. I would not start off with a website. I would actually build up your business first, build up some clients, then once you get a steady income, build a website with the money that you made from your clients, and your business will expand. You guys have to really listen to me on this. You want your business to expand. Alright guys, next we need to talk about software. Oh, this is when it gets really, really, really expensive. Software. We have programs like Final Cut, Avid, Sony Vegas, Adobe Premiere. Which one do I use? I use Sony Vegas Pro. Why? Because I used Final Cut, I used Adobe Premiere. I hated them because they took so long to render and so long to learn. I went to Sony Vegas because Sony Vegas took me 1 day to learn, and the processing and editing time that is used to do videos takes half the amount of time compared to Final Cut and compared to Adobe Premiere. I love Sony Vegas, alright? You cannot get me off of that. I know people are saying, oh, the standard is Final Cut or the standard is Avid. Guys, You are your own business. There are no standards. As long as you output creative, beautiful videos, your clients are going to be happy. And that's what you need to focus on. Not what standards are and not what other people are using. I'm telling you what gear I'm using because I've had excellent results with this equipment that I'm using. Alright? Period. So you have Sony Vegas software, alright? I suggest that you go get the trial from the website, go on YouTube and instantly learn the software before you buy it. I believe you have 2 weeks or 30 days to try out the software. You have that time to learn everything about the software. Very important. Now let's talk about what kind of computer you need to be using. You can either buy a Mac or a Windows, it really doesn't matter. I prefer Mac because that way I can run both Windows and Mac operating software on there. So I get the best of both worlds. My Mac cost me $3 grand. I have the MacBook Pro Retina. You know, you're gonna pay about $3 grand for it. But you get what you pay for. You get quality, they're very thin, and they're very quick. Very powerful computers. You want to make sure for HD processing, HD video editing, you want to have a quad-core processor and at least a 512 megabyte graphics card, at least for HD. Alright, keep that in mind. And you want to also have a terabyte hard drive. Well, right now I have a 3 terabyte drive, cost me $100, very cheap. You need to have an endless amount of hard drive space because you're going to keep collecting footage after footage after footage, movie after movie after movie. You're going to have to keep all of this stuff. All the raw files, you know, from one party, you can go up to about 150 to 200 gigabytes of space that you need to dump. Alright, so make sure you have plenty of hard drives or plenty of hard drive space because you need to dump all that footage onto somewhere. Now this video has covered the absolute basics, but I went from beginner to intermediate / advanced. If you want your clients to have amazing, beautiful footage, you need to have this gear. You need to have a slider, tripod, HD video camera, and of course a Steadicam. But it takes a lot of investment and a lot of time to research what's best. Luckily guys, if you check out my channel, I did a lot of this research for you already. I took the cheapest stuff, cheapest equipment, and that cheap equipment gave me beautiful quality footage. Of course the cameras weren't cheap, but I'm talking about the accessories, the tripod, slider, all that stuff was cheap. If you were to buy it here in LA, if you were to go to EBS, which is a superstore for videography, you would spend probably the amount of equipment I have, you'd probably spend 20 grand over there. I probably spent total $13,000–14,000 on everything. Everything, including the cameras. So, keep that in mind guys. You want to keep yourselves on a budget, okay? You want to budget it. Find the cheapest, but also the best equipment out there, if that makes any sense. Get stuff that's cheap, but high quality. It is possible. China made it possible. At least now it did. So guys, I know there's a lot of stuff to absorb in this video, and I'm going to go into DSLRs in my next video and break DSLRs down, what you need to buy for DSLRs. So stay tuned for that video. If you have any questions, please email me at info@joshmorganmedia.com. Check out my website, joshmorganmedia.com. I'm going to be changing it soon. It's going to have a whole new different layout. And also, please subscribe and comment below. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Also, ending note, Canon is better than Nikon for video. There's no need to argue with me on that. See for yourself on YouTube. Alright guys, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.